G'day everyone and welcome to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. Today is an avocado adjacent video. I do have the avocado grove growing very happily behind me. We've had beautiful wet weather this spring in Australia here, but we are now in summer. And summer, often I go away, and at my previous place I'd set up drip irrigation. I haven't had time to do that at my new house in my new backyard, and so I'm looking at a different way to water my plants while I am not there and to automate it a bit. So later on in the summer I'll probably set up some drip irrigation, but for now I just want a quick fix to be able to get water on my plants without a person having to do that. So today I'm going to be using some different things to be doing that. I've set up systems with timers before, but I have not used an actual sprinkler to water my garden before. Now, I know that this is not the ideal tool for the job. I'm using the Holman 3-arm rotating sprinkler with heavy-duty weighted base, and this is designed for lawns. As you can see, I don't have any lawn here, but I do have a bunch of plants in pots. This should be able to spray far further than it needs to, but the angled heads is what I'm really after, so that it can actually get into my pots instead of just going flat onto the grass, up and then down into my pots, is my hope, without going over my fence and into my neighbours. I'm going to be running this off my stormwater tank. I've got a rainwater tank behind me here. This is a 3,000 litre tank. It's attached to our roof. This pump ensures that we've got great pressure. At the moment, we've had a super wet spring, so it's pretty well full. It's just being used to flush toilets and for hand watering at the moment, so I am not feeling guilty at all about using a slightly less water efficient way to water. If you are more conscious, then this probably, and you're watering, you know, a patio garden, this is probably not it, because it's going to get a lot of water onto the gravel here itself. If you're watering lawn and you want to keep that alive, that's a different story. Well, let's get this set up and give it a test run. First, I started by setting up my digital tap timer. So I'm using the Aqua Systems digital tap timer. I have used Aqua Systems before. I've been happy with its reliability and its ease of use. I first needed to set the time and what day it was, and those were fairly simple. The instructions make it really clear on how to do that. There are only a few buttons to press, so I was just being patient and looking through the instructions carefully. Then I was able to set how long I wanted the timer to run. Now in this video you'll see that I've set for 10 minutes. I actually ended up changing that later on to 5 minutes, and then I set how many times a day I wanted it to run and at what times, and later on I set it to twice a day, 9 AM and 9 PM, and that was the setup for this timer. Next, I needed to install my tap fitting. Now I could have just attached it straight to my tap, but I also want the option to be able to use a hose or fill a bucket whilst my watering system is attached, so I have this Holman 2-way tap outlet. This one is made of brass. It looks fairly durable. I haven't used this one in particular before, but I'm happy to give it a go. Once that was installed, I popped the digital tap timer on and got to unpacking and setting up my sprinkler. So as I said before, this is the Holman 3-arm rotating sprinkler with heavy duty weighted base. It was really simple. All I needed to do was screw the sprinkler into the base. Setup was pretty easy, so now I can rotate these heads, you know, not heaps, but enough, probably, you know, 45 degrees to get a different angle. So I'm gonna just play around a little bit with these now, and we'll see what we need to do to get a really good, the best appropriate, most appropriate watering kind of arrangement for my yard. All right, so to test this out, which is just behind me here, I've plugged it into the hose and I've put the hose on the end that's not on the timer. The reason I've done that is so that I'm able to easily turn it on and off just to test where it goes. I've also conveniently got my bedroom door here, so I'm gonna kind of hide out in here so I don't get soaked. So I'm gonna make sure I've taken the scissors and packaging away, and then we're gonna hide out in here while we turn on the tap, and we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, let's just give it a go. So this is on the lowest setting, like the most horizontal. Okay, it's just filling the hose now. Oh, something's happening. That's pretty good actually. I mean, it's very wet. I need to open the door now to turn it off though, which is the problem. Okay, we didn't get much water inside. That's okay. Let's go take a look. Okay, I'm just looking around my yard. I can move these chairs if I need to, but I'm looking. And just after that short while, there is water on the top of those plants. There's water on top of these plants. There is water even on the top of these ones. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get into the ones that are kind of around the corner here, but they're looking all pretty wet as well. So I would say that this is on the job. Now the real test is actually going to be the test. So we've got a couple of short trips planned and we've got some warm weather ahead. So I'm gonna get a new battery for the timer, wherever it is, there it is. And we'll see if it can keep these plants alive during the hot Australian summer. So I'm gonna skip forward now and we'll see what things are like in a couple of weeks' time. Alrighty, it's been a couple of weeks now since I set this up and have been using it, and I'm ready to talk about how I went with it and my thoughts on it. So first of all, with the watering system, if it's showing that the battery's flat, even though it's still displaying time and you can set the watering system times and so on, unless there's actually, it's not showing flat battery, it won't run. So I put in an old battery just to make the video because I wasn't organized enough to get a 9-volt battery. And for the first holiday that I went on, 3 nights away, it didn't run. And that was unfortunate. We had some really warm weather, so we've got some quite crispy leaves. Some of these avocado trees, they're losing a few leaves, which is a bit disappointing, but that's my user error. I should have put a new battery in. So for the second trip that I had, which was another 4 nights away, and again we had some really warm weather, I replaced the battery, and coming home everything was doing beautifully. I have appreciated using this sprinkler system. While I was away, I didn't have time to set up a full irrigation system. Usually, previously, and I have made a video, you can see the link in the description, I like to use drip irrigation because it's a lot more water effective. This, super easy. I just plugged it into a hose and set up a timer, but not anywhere near as water efficient. So just thinking about my yard, there is a lot of space that doesn't have plants. If this was a lawn, there would be plants, but it's just gravel, and this spreads a fairly equitable amount of water throughout its range. So I've got plants which are getting watered, but at the same time I've got this massive area of gravel where nothing's growing, where that water is just being lost. Now, because I'm running it off the rainwater tank, it's not a huge deal. It's not costing me any money, but it has meant that my rainwater tank has been, I've not quite emptied it, but it's not looking anywhere near as full as it was a few weeks ago. We have had some rain, but it's not replacing it as fast as I've been using this one. I ended up changing this to run twice a day for 5 minutes at each, so 9 AM and 9 PM, which seems to be working, but that's still using more water than I would like because there's a lot going onto the gravel, which is useless. So in the future, this is not what I'll be using all the time. I do want to set up an automated system, but this will not be the sprinkler for that. For a really quick fix, and I imagine if I had a lawn, this would have been great, but for long term, keeping my plants watered and healthy in summer, this is not the tool for the job. I've been thrilled that it worked. If I wasn't able to water, I think we probably would have had a lot more death in this yard, a lot more lost leaves, and possibly some dead trees. We've avoided that. It's not cost me much money. This whole setup was not too expensive. I've got the lists there because I can't remember them as I'm filming this, and because I'm running it off my rainwater, it was, I didn't have to pay for the water. But in the future, this is not a great ongoing system because it wastes so much water. So that's my thoughts about this. I've kept my avocado trees alive, and I am keen to, at some point, invest time and money in setting up a bit more of a permanent irrigation setup, which is a lot more water effective, so that I don't empty my tank in 3 weeks, which this is almost done. If I'd run this every day, I'm not sure if there'd be anything left in my 2,000 litre tank. And we will leave it there for today. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that if you're looking to buy any of the products that I have looked at today, that this has been a helpful, let's let you know what I think of them, and your use case is probably going to be different to mine. So I hope that I have helped you in that. There's no affiliate links today. So you can find these at Bunnings. That's where I got them if you want, but they're not paying me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you're subscribed to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree, where usually I focus more specifically on avocado tree related things. Here's the grove there. But today was looking at a product to keep it alive while I was away, and I didn't have a lot of time to set up anything more substantial. So I'm really happy with that one. You can also find me on Instagram at Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree.